All right, y'all, come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all of my prescriptions. He gives me all of my medicine in my room. How y'all doing? Blessed be the tides that bind. Good morning to each of you on this blessed morning. Come on in the room, children. Come on in the room. Oh, Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all of my, she says prescriptions, gives me all of my medicine in my room. Good morning, everybody, on this blessed Friday morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. Today, I'm in my garage. Don't nobody need to see what's going on in here because it needs cleaning out. It's junk everywhere. But anyway, while we're here in the room, it's not as hot as it has been because it's been hot. It gets hot in Texas. But I see a lot of stuff, and I don't want to talk so much about the incidents that have happened. You know, the killing of the young men, the killing of the policemen, the hanging, just a lot of stuff going on all at one time. I shared with some people that I've been dealing with death all week. We started, a woman got killed on our street on July 4th. So it's just been a lot going on this week. But I say why pray for this reason. A lot of people I see on my feed, when the mention of prayer comes up, they're seemingly offended, as if prayer is not enough, or prayer is not mobilized, or prayer is somewhere we've downgraded prayer, and people want to do something. People want to get out there, and they don't really know what they want to do or what to do. But seemingly prayer is not enough for some people. Prayer has been downplayed, as if praying is being soft. But let me drop something on you right now. If I were to take out to Minnesota and didn't know how to get there, all I'm doing is walking. Somebody said, "What you gonna do?" I'm on my way to Minnesota. How do you get there? I don't know, but I'm going. So I'm wasting my time. In order for correction, there has to be direction. One of the things, especially in the black community, sometimes we get angry. We want to mobilize. We want to do, all we do is put these little movements together, and nothing comes from them because we don't strategize. We just move out. We need direction. Why is prayer important? No, from the civil rights movement to the Bible days, no great movement started and didn't start with prayer. Prayer has been the foundation of every great movement, successful movement. Some of the churches you go to would not stand if it wasn't for prayer. I'm talking about before there was ever a pastor, there were people that got together, women, I might well call it like it is, women of God that got together and prayed, fasted and prayed So it's not that we don't need to mobilize. It's not that we don't need to come together. We can have meetings and all that kind of stuff. But where do we get direction from? How do what helps us to strategize? That's what prayer does. I'm not talking about prayer, God kill somebody. Okay, you don't think prayer okay, prayer is not the solution. Okay, you may feel like you want to feel, but you can jump out there by yourself if you want to. Go on out there and do whatever you're going to do, and you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. Oh yeah, go out there and kill some people, jump on some people, get you some signs, and run down the street and think you're going to make a difference. Prayer is the key. That's where we get our answers from God. But people want to pray to God but don't want to hear from him. Everybody want to tell him something. I need to have. But it's about hearing from him. That's what I'm talking about. How you going to correct something with no direction? What you going to do? You going to ride on your intelligence? Okay. All right, smart. You want to be smart? Be smart. But God will help you to make the crooked ways straight. He will lead you down the right pathway when you're trying to get things done. Don't think that God ain't sitting on the throne right now. Much of what God is allowing right now is supposed to push us to pray. The old saint said it in a song, oh, what needless pains we bear, all because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. Everything to him in prayer. Stop diminishing prayer. You're not intelligent enough to deal with the devil. I'm going to say it one more time. You're not smart enough. You're not intelligent enough. You ain't saved enough to deal with the devil. He will make an absolute fool out of you. Think that you're a match for the devil because you know some scriptures and you can you think that you have enough power within yourself. In him we live, in him we move, and in him we have our being. We will get out there and come to nothing. Well, Glenn, buy me a new one. Come on, somebody. You don't like my garage? Buy me another one. Come on, somebody. Because you can't, man. I see this stuff and I know people get angry. But when Nehemiah went home to rebuild the wall, the first thing he did was pray. Prayer will make provision. Can I say it one more time? Prayer makes provision. Not only did Nehemiah get permission to go back and rebuild the wall, but the king provided him with resources. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Resources. All these problems that we have, there's ways to deal with them. But we must strategize with the wisdom of God and not the wisdom of ourselves. You hear what I'm telling you? You have to know that God knows what's best. Father knows best. That doesn't make you a weakling because you say, well, let's pray. And the sad thing is that I got preachers on here. I know how to pray. I'm sick of... what? Sick of praying? Oh, I let Glenn get away with that. He can get away with that. Everybody can. We talking about my garage. This house is old. Okay, well, the church say amen. But yet you have to go to God in prayer. The Bible says the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and add no sorrow. If we're going to come together and strategize, the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and add no sorrow. Try to do it yourself with your little money and your little signs and go, because I done told everybody I ain't going down, I ain't marching nowhere. If the Lord don't unction me to go march these raggedy diabetic neuropathy filled feet, ain't going nowhere. Ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna follow what the Lord says do. That's how we communicate. You're right, Thurston. That's how we communicate. If you ain't praying, how are you hearing from God? What is he saying? Or surely you're not hearing from God just watching people's Facebook posts. And I know we get a word on Sundays from our leaders, but you have to have a personal relationship with God. That's why a lot of Christians are so weak now. They're so dependent on everybody else praying. You better know God for yourself. You hear me? You better know him for yourself. If you and the Lord hadn't had no discussions, I see why life ain't going right. I need to have a little talk with Jesus. Tell him all about my troubles. Hear our faith. Oh, answer by and by. Yeah, hear a little prayer will turn and know a little fire burning. Just a little talk with Jesus will make this all right. If we just start coming together and doing stuff because we think that's the right thing to do, we will see no results. None whatsoever. The one thing that we should, and I'm not saying that people downtown Dallas wasn't praying this, but the one thing we should be praying is, God, let there be peace. Well, I got to go out here, and we ain't going out here because we got to know why we rally. You know, so many people come to rallies and don't have a clue why they there. All they know is, oh, my cousin them going down there. We going down there. I'm going down there. You know, Aunt Tussie May said we need to come down there. So we all need to get in the car and go down. We don't even know what we down there for. Well, what's the names of the people? I don't know. I heard their name on. So I saw their name. Hush! You don't even know what you down there for. Stop just following stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm saying, man, preach. It wouldn't bother me so much with outsiders. But when the preacher say prayer ain't enough, God help us. He ain't praying. Prayer, Lord, I can hear Miss Parsons saying it right now. Prayer changes things. If I don't remember nothing else from Sunday school, because I wasn't paying no attention. I was young and I wasn't paying no attention. But I remember her, Miss Cornelius Parsons, put it in our head every week that prayer changes things. So stop diminishing the power of prayer. Stop downplaying prayer. You better pray. They used to sing a song that said prayer is the key and faith unlocks the door. You gotta have some. You may have the faith, but if you ain't praying, then you don't have any access. Every great movement, I say it again, every great movement, Martin Luther King, as wonderful as he was, his movement would have not been successful if it wasn't for people praying. Somebody was praying somewhere. Some women in the churches, somebody was praying somewhere. Anytime you see greatness, somebody somewhere was praying. That's why y'all be singing them songs. My mother prayed for me, had me on her. Cause we had no sense. We wasn't been more pray. We would do stuff that had no business to do. But if somebody was praying, that's why we safe today. Some of us, the only reason we alive, only reason we still kicking, is because somebody had enough sense to pray for us when we didn't have enough sense to pray for ourselves. Pray for ourselves. Oh, we didn't pray for ourselves. We didn't have enough sense to pray for ourselves. So, saints, I urge you, pray. See if it works. But you got to pray right. There's a reason why he said, humble yourself. Praying has never worked. Well, I'm sorry for you, Johnny. I'm praying for you. If praying never worked, you hadn't really tried. I don't mean to sound callous or nothing, but you can't tell me you prayed earnestly to God, and God, if God didn't do it, he didn't do it for your good. So prayer works. And I'm praying, God, I pray, God, that Johnny, that a miracle would show up in his life to prove, and you don't have to prove nothing to none of us. But I want Johnny to see the manifestation of your power. I'm praying for him. Because prayer works. I know I got some witnesses on here that prayer works. Some of y'all would be dead right now, but the Lord, through the prayers of the saints, through your earnest prayers, because I still believe the prayers of the righteous avail as much. We just got to make sure we right. That's the part. That's where we messing up. We ain't right. We praying, but we need to get right. Saints, if it's ever a time, I told God this morning, I said, Lord, I know I ain't perfect. I make mistakes like everybody else, but it's my desire to live holy. It's my desire. I choose to live right. Whatever that means, I choose to live right. I choose to. Because I want to meet him in peace. You know, I want to meet him in peace. Because I believe that this old life that we live will soon be over. Oh, it's the signs of the times are here, baby. You might well get ready for it. And you know, and I will say that. You can pray no end. But that Bible gonna fulfill itself. That Bible is gonna fulfill itself. And there's some stuff that's gonna happen. I just pray, God, let your will be done. Protect my family. Watch, I plead the blood over my home. I don't want, because I leave, I'm on the road a lot. I want my home to be blessed. I don't want to have to depend on man's methods of protection to take care of my house. You say you do too, Tanya, but how? What are you, Tanya Green? What are you asking? We're gonna help you today. If I can't help you, I'm sure somebody on there can. Yeah, we go. And we are his people, called by his name. But we have to humble ourselves. That's where we lose at. Because we have a problem bringing ourselves down. We're so puffed up. Sometimes we're so caught up in the atmosphere till we can't pull ourselves down enough to feel the hurts of somebody else or to feel the pains of somebody else. And you know, church people, we want to be right all the time. We have a problem being wrong. That's why we argue about theoretical things. We keep fussing with each other because everybody want to be right. Everybody's revelation got to be right. So can't nobody be wrong. Can't nobody be told nothing. You will never grow if you don't understand that some people can tell you something to let other people pour into you. Amen. You need people to pour. You ain't that wonderful. You are not that wonderful. Can I say it again? You are not that wonderful. You are not that wonderful. You're not that wonderful. You're not that wonderful. You're not that wonderful. Even though you're fearfully and wonderfully made, you're not that special. You need God's help. Humble yourself. You gotta humble yourself. You have to. When you don't humble yourself, you'll find yourself praying selfish prayers. You'll be praying and asking God to kill people. And I know people that's like this right now. They feel like God loves them more than they love somebody else. They'll start they put a hit out on people using God. Get them, Lord. Get them. Come on, somebody. I mean, some stuff, it ain't even spiritual. It ought to just be common sense. How you had that much? I mean, you barely pay tithes. Now you think God gonna come kill somebody for you? Nah. I'm educated, but sometimes when I wake up, I say, Dawn, I woke up again. Please teach me I don't pay because it's just, you, Tanya, sweetheart, man ought to always pray. God wants the best out of you. You can't be a blessing to anybody else if you're not blessed yourself. You have to be whole yourself. Your prayer life with God is part of what makes you whole. Your relationship with God is part of what makes you whole. So you have to have that relationship with Him, because God has to reveal some things to you. And your relationship with Him causes Him to trust you with knowing the real you. Sometimes God, the reason He doesn't reveal all that's a part of us is because He really don't have the relationship with us that He should. So the closer you get to Him, the more He reveals you to you. He'll reveal Himself to you. He'll reveal scriptures to you. Your prayer life is definitely important. So I'm praying for you, Tanya. I pray right now, Tanya, that God will give you the mind to pray. That He would. I don't want to get all caught up here, but I just feel like there's some distractions in your life, Tanya, that you got to move out of the way. Some things in your life that aren't beneficial to you staying on course. And don't feel bad about getting rid of them. I'm not talking about, like your drugs and nothing like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying sometimes we can have some stuff in our life that really is not beneficial to us going to the next level. So I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you that God would open up your understanding and give you the mind and heart to pray. Yes. God bless you, Bishop Campbell. It's so blessed to see a man of God like yourself on here, and so many great people that come on to my Facebook Live. I had a young man yesterday. I ain't gonna call his name because I think he on here. Young man said Facebook Live was made to tear down black people and all. Man, I mean, if you selling drugs and doing wrong stuff, then nobody make you get on Facebook. Yeah, Tanya, it's sometimes God. Sometimes we find ourselves in not necessarily a low place, but a place of indecision. And our lives can get so big. It's a trick of the enemy. We don't see it all the time, but our lives can get so complex with other things. Sometimes even church work. We get so caught up in that, in doing, until we don't really sit down and have because God may be taking us in an entirely different direction. I never, ever, ever would have thought I'd be out here doing comedy. I thought I'd be pastoring a church the rest of my life. But because I sat still and said, God, I know I know you have another plan. I don't know what it is, but I feel it. And in my prayer time, in my alone time with God, just talking to God like this, hey, God, I need some help, man. I need to figure out what's going on. When all people are Holy Father, I went doing all that, and Lord, I need some help. I got some bills to pay. I need, I know I'm trying to live right for you, Lord. I need some help. And in that time, God said, listen, I'm going to do something special. I want you to go and make people laugh. I want you to go and help heal the nation. That's why I put out that thing this morning, because I know ain't none of this we going through no laughing matter. But if the enemy takes our joy away from us because of what we're going through, we'll lose strength, because the joy of the Lord is our strength. That you have to enjoy, even though being saved sometimes is almost like jumping hurdles. You got to enjoy being it. You will never stay saved if you don't enjoy being saved. Hear me? Yeah. J Tunes Music, I'm going to tell you something. In April, and music, I've been playing for churches since I was 14, 15 years old. It's always been some form of my budget. From being a single man to having a home, taking care of my people, taking care of my wife and kids. But I said, I have to, if I were to give that, it was, I know God. Yeah, but you have to, but he whom the Son sets, I'm speaking to you, Tanya, he whom the Son sets free is free indeed. God will give you the freedom you need to be who you are in God. But J Tunes, listen, man, I was playing for churches. Wasn't that they were bad churches or nothing, or bad people or bad leaders? But me and my family were going to 3 different places. My wife, and I just needed to be somewhere to hear from the Lord. So I stepped out on faith. I said, God, now listen, I'm leaving this church. It ain't because of no treatment or nothing, but I'm leaving this church so me and my family can be together and worship together. My daughter needs to be in a service. So I told God, now you bless me with this comedy. See, there's a place in God where you call him to his word. I'm saying perfect, but there's a place in God where you can call God to his word. So God, now if you told me to do this comedy thing, I need you to make sure I can take care of my family doing it. I'm going to make this move by faith. Me and my family got up, went out to the Potter's House North. Me and my wife both coaching. That's where we come from. So we both got up, went out there, only on the fact that God said go. And it has been the most nourishing. I don't know how long this season lasts, but it has been the most nourishing thing for us. Just the short time we've been there, it has been a blessing. Not to me as a comedian, none of that. That ain't what it was about. It was about my daughter in the Destiny House. They have their own worship, and it's working for us. So I'm not telling you to get up now, J Tunes. I ain't telling you to get up and leave your chair. I'm telling you to pray. But when God gives you the answer, you got to move. That's what Willie Neal Johnson would say. When the Lord gets ready, you got to move. Whatever the Lord say, you got to have, because I've been a loyalist. There have been places I know the Lord told me to leave, but I wouldn't leave because I didn't want them to be without no music. I didn't want to make nothing wrong with the pastor, but I wouldn't leave. But I have learned when the Lord say move, and I ain't gonna tell you don't get rough. I ain't gonna tell you it ain't gonna get a little tight, cause it get a little tight over here. A little tight right now. Hey. But God, you hear what I'm telling you? But God will supply your needs according to his riches and glory. And I want to get back to something. I want to say this. When stuff like this starts happening, these killings and it's a way the enemy will use it to distract you from being the Christian you are, from being the woman of God, the man of God that you know you are. He will distract you, get you all mad and all that foolishness, and you will mess around and won't even pray. But don't let nothing. Paul said, I'll let nothing separate. I hate the killings. It bothers me. I'm a black man. I don't want to live in fear, but I was in Dallas. I was in Duncanville last night. And when I saw it come up over my phone, I normally come 35 to 75 to come home. And I have to pass right through downtown. I made a U-turn and got my behind on 20 and drove all the way around 635. But as much as I ain't afraid, I ain't crazy. I was not finna go through downtown. Because I don't want to be. I got one bullet in my leg right now that's random. Just standing somewhere I ain't got no business being over 20 years ago, and it's still there. So it is a constant reminder to go the other way. You hear me? Go the other way. Go the other way. Even though the inquisitive nature in me wanted me to go downtown. But it be my luck, sniper bullet come run through my car. And so I ain't, God bless them. I'm praying for every family. But don't live foolishly now. We ain't gonna do that. But we're praying for all those families. I'm telling you, man, I was done. When that little girl in that back seat, and I don't want to keep talking about it because it's been 2 days and it drains me. But that 4-year-old baby in the back of that car, I mean, you shot that man with that girl. What if? And I know I don't like what ifs. But if one of them bullets would have slipped through and hit that girl, do you hear what I'm telling you? That baby in the back seat of that car, and the police is screaming because he know he done wrong. Yeah, he know he don't. He knew he messed up. He was scared and messed up. You know, man. That's so. It's some bad situations out here. You know, it's a mystery to me. Man that went out and peed my part in Georgia and committed suicide. Whatever. But I ain't finna start trying to throw conspiracy theories. I'm praying for the mama of that boy, that sniper. They just released his name, the young black man, ex-military. I'm praying for his mama. You know, because, I mean, your children are your children. They mess up, they make mistakes, but they're ours, and we gotta love them. Well, you know, so I can't even imagine if his mother is still living or his family. You know, that my son has committed and they blew him up. Blew him up. Yeah, we're praying for you. But I'm gonna tell y'all, man, all this getting out shooting and rioting and all that, it ain't gonna come to nothing. Nothing but a waste of time. You can get more done on your and I keep telling these people, man, because I got some people I probably need to delete, but I keep trying to speak wisdom to them, and I'm glad telling you I love you, and I'm sure everybody on this call loves you. We don't really know you personally, but we in the struggle together. You know, that's the part I be wondering about saints. We can't encourage one another. We can talk about each other. We can criticize one another, but Lord help us to come together for one another. Because there was a time people didn't get on the phone and gossip. People went and prayed when they had problems. When they would lift each other up when they had problems. But now we use Facebook and everything to keep talking about everybody, what they doing, and what they saying. We use Facebook now as our little pulpits to down people. We've been saved 5 days, now everybody wrong. Whatever. Jesus sent his son. Memphis. Tell you, I'm gonna be in Memphis, July the 27th and 28th. Maybe on my Facebook where I'm gonna be, but I'll be at a youth conference. The 27th and 28th. Would love to meet you. You can buy me some ribs. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Because it's ungodly to go to Memphis and not get no ribs. Come on, somebody. At least one rib. I can have one rib. I know. I drink some water with it. But yeah, I'm coming to Memphis, 27th and 28th. And I'm going to leave Memphis the 28th and go to Birmingham, Alabama to the Gospel Music Workshop. Be down there with the quartet boys. The quartet night. You know, real quartet singers don't say quartet, they say quartet. Quartet. We're going down to see the quartets. And listen, I'm making an appeal. Cause people, you know, and down in that, no, my wife, she ain't gonna come there. She ain't gonna come that far. Now. She gonna ride with me that long. She be real sick of me by that time. But we'll see what we're gonna do. Fear, how we can be an effective police officer. If you can't operate in fear. One thing I know about a police officer, I ain't a police officer. When am I coming to California? When somebody book me. Book me, don't overlook me. Plane ticket, hotel, and a little change. That's how we operate. Plane ticket, hotel, little change. So we trying to get there, trying to work it out. But yeah, familiar with the walkers. Yeah, we're going to quartets. You know, the quartets meeting up in Birmingham on the 28th, the night of the 28th. I'll be in Memphis the morning of the 28th. Then I'm doing old school. See, back when I was singing, with groups and stuff. We got in the car and we did what we had to do. Matter of fact, I'm looking to be booked Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday. So, I'm coming through the area. We can work something out. Matter of fact, I do old school 60-40 with the church. You put the people in there, we'll split the dime. Everybody can make a little something. I can't make no $50 nothing. All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Tanya. That anointed. That's how they used to do the evangelists back in the day. The saints would cook. But I'm looking forward to coming to Memphis. Memphis has a lot of heritage. I love coming to Memphis. But yeah, I'm glad we had a chance to chat this morning about praying. I'll pray for you. You pray for me. And watch God change things. Oh, won't He change it? I'll pray for you. You pray for me. And watch God change things. God bless you. We love you. Peace.